What makes a business successful and a family successful is the same thing. It's intentional leadership. Successful families just don't happen. They're led that way. With God's grace, God's mercy, God's provision, families can be one of the most amazing things in a person's life. We don't hope things will get better with business. We don't hope that the business will grow. We realize that we have to press ourselves upon the business. We have to press our will upon the business. We don't expect the business to grow just by happenstance. We have goals, we have timelines, we have accountability. And so when we're looking at business, we understand that we have to plan and press ourselves, press our intentions, our vision, our will upon the business so that it will grow. In the coffee house, we just don't, turn on the open sign and say, hey, we're open for coffee. We do a lot of things in the background that make that experience for the customer amazing. We need to take that same energy that we have, that same desire and passion that we have for our businesses, and we need to push that and infuse that into our families. That's why businesses grow, is because we have all of these things set up. And then we wonder why our families are failing. So when you got married, you were super excited about your spouse, super excited about the future with you and your wife or your husband. I mean, you just had dreams and goals and all these ambitions. And then life happens. You go back into a job, you go back into the routine, and year by year goes by, and you wake up 5 years down the road and now you're roommates. And you wonder where the spark is gone. The reason the spark is gone is because you're in maintenance mode. Your passion is gone. You've lost your way. You've lost the vision. You've lost your purpose. You've lost your passion. How do you get that back? Do you just close up the doors and call it a day? Do you just grind through and wait till someone dies? Do you just hope for the end of the world? No. You intervene. You bring your passion. You bring your creativity, and you bring that into your marriage. Attrition in marriage is just like attrition in anything. It leads to death. If you don't use it, you lose it. This whole world God created, He created to be perfect. But then sin came into the world and it caused a break. Now what happened is death came into the world. And what is death? Death is the attrition of the life force. Death is the attrition of our power, of our strength, of our health. And so death comes into the equation, and all of this world is now not evolving towards perfection. It is devolving towards chaos. And so the same thing is with any relationship, and especially your marriage and especially your family. If you're not pressing your marriage, if you're not pushing into your marriage, attrition is going to take hold and it's going to lead to a slow death. And it may not end in divorce, but it will end in the joy that you could have experienced if you had taken a different path, a different route. These are the three things that I do to make sure that I am pressing into my marriage and continuing to have passion with my marriage and family. That's brought me a lot of success in my relationship with my family and with my wife. If I were to talk to myself 30 years ago, before I got married, and back then I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew what was going on. I thought I knew everything about marriage and relationships, but I was wrong. If I were to talk to myself 30 years ago, what would I say would be the three top things I would do every month to make sure that my marriage and relationship with my wife and my family would not devolve into a bad place, a dark place, or a stagnant place? I would tell them these three things. The first thing is a date night. Make sure every month you have a date night. Our life are a bunch of cycles all put together. But one of the main cycles that you need to concentrate on is the monthly cycle. A monthly cycle resonates with things renewing, getting satisfied, and then coming to an end, just like the moon. This date night is to reconnect with your spouse. It's a time that's set aside, a sacred time, so that you can listen to one another, that you can speak on things without interruption. It's a time to spend some money, spend some resources. It's a time that you need to make it memorable, make a memory with a date night. A date night needs to be non-negotiable. This is something that you place first in the month. Life gets in the way. Things happen. You don't know what's going to happen this next month, but you need the best of your ability to make sure that you set this big stone in your marriage and family life. It's important for you as husband and wife to become a united front, and we have to take time to do that. Remember, this is a no strings attached evening, especially in our society today, thinks that date nights equal affection or date nights equal intimacy. This is a time for you to reconnect, to hear each other, to see each other. The truth of the matter is, when we get married, we don't drift into intimacy. We have to be intentional and plan it. The second thing I would tell myself is, Brandon, every month you need to clear accounts. What do I mean by clearing accounts? Clearing accounts is making sure that there's no underlying problems within your marriage or within your family. You can't go forward if you have all of this baggage that you're dealing with, if you have all of this unresolved conflict, unresolved hurt. If you have that in your marriage or in your family, you will be sluggish and you will not go forward, you will go backward. Your family is looking to you for leadership, and leadership is addressing the big elephant in the room. Leadership is dealing with problems that are underlying. It's not putting your head in the sand and acting like there's no problems. Leadership is dealing with problems directly and with love. Clearing accounts is going to every individual in your family. For me, it's my kids and it's my wife. Clearing accounts means I go to them and ask them just 1 to 3 questions. You may just want to start with one at first, because this is going to be rough, if I'm honest. At first. It just depends on how much baggage you have. But I'd ask them 1 to 3 questions. The first question I would ask them, have I offended you in any way in the recent past? In the last couple weeks to the last month, have I offended you in any way that I'm not aware of? Now, when you start to ask these questions and when you start to clear accounts, you have to understand there's going to be just a couple responses. One, there's going to be silence. Silence means they're not really sure how you're going to respond. If they don't know how you're going to respond, you have to create a sense of safety in your conversations and your communication with your family. And so they may be silent because they don't know how you're going to respond, because you're asking for them to tell you something that has offended them this last month. So that's one response. The second response is that they'll tell you. And when they tell you, you have to make sure that you're not there to make excuses or answer the hurt. You're there just to get it out on the table. If they tell you something that's hurt their feelings or you've offended them, respond in a way that's non-threatening. Say, okay, I hear what you're saying. Can you clarify a little bit more? You're saying that I did this. And they said, yeah, you did this. And you felt this way. Yes, I felt that way. You are active listening with them in such a way that they can get out what's inside. You don't want things inside. You don't want things that are undercurrents for them. You want to make sure that you have open communication and that everybody is on the same page. And so when you clear accounts, when you ask this question, be ready for both of those options. And remember, when you ask these questions, you're not saying, making excuses, well, this is what I meant, or this is what I was thinking. None of that. You're there to listen and to clarify. At the end, you can say, thank you for being honest with me. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for giving me a heads up. Let me think about what you've said. Then you can come back later and then answer their concerns. But at first, you're not there to make excuses, not to give them reasons, and surely not to say that they're wrong. They are telling you, and you've asked them. So let them speak freely. And when you do this for months, you'll realize that items will become smaller and it will turn from negative to positive. But you have to go through the pain of asking these questions. In the Proverbs, it says, a good shepherd knows the condition of his flocks. And this is what you're doing. You're knowing the condition. You're not explaining things. You're getting all the information out. The second question you could ask, is there any underlying unresolved bitterness from way back that I'm unaware of? Is there any bitterness, any unresolved hurt that I caused or that you just have that I'm unaware of? Again, your job, your role is to get the information out, not to answer these concerns. You can do that later, but it's to get the communication out. And the third thing you need to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well of a job am I doing being a husband? How well of a job am I being a mom? How well of a job am I being a dad? How well of a job am I doing being a wife? And when they answer, they're going to give you some number. And then you're going to follow that up. You're going to get clarification. You're not going to take offense. Don't take offense to these things. And then you're going to say, okay, so you said 5. Wow. Okay. What would it take for me to be a 10? You said 6. What would it take for me to be a 10? And then let them speak. And then take note. What would I need to do to make it a 10? And then just listen. Now, this is going to be hurtful at first, but you're creating traction. You're creating intimacy. You're being vulnerable. You are creating a safe space for them to communicate. And you're getting their inside thoughts to the outside. You all are now on the same page. And at first, they may not share a lot with you, and that's okay. Don't be offended. But as you do this and you're consistent with them and consistently giving them a safe space to communicate, they will open up. The third thing I would do, in addition to your date night, in addition to clearing accounts, what I would recommend you do is that you have a family meeting. And this family meeting is to celebrate the successes. It's to set goals in the future. It's to set a mission for your family. And it's to define what is your purpose on this earth. The family meeting is to discover what your purpose is and where you're headed. What's your family going to be about? What's important to you as a family? What defines you as a family? What is your purpose as a family? And these are the things that you'll be discussing at the family meeting. This is like a board meeting. Looking at your family as a force to be reckoned with, as a tribe, a unit that has a purpose that's going to accomplish great things. So when you have a family meeting, you're signaling to yourself and to your family that family is important. Family matters. And that you're just not maintaining family, but you're going places. You've got things to do. At the family meeting, you can discuss a lot of logistics stuff. What's going on this summer? Where you're going to vacation? What reunions that have to come up? People's birthdays. But then we also have to talk about more important things. You're going to talk as the leader of your family, and you're going to lead your family in a forward direction. You're going to gain traction. You will be super surprised at what a family meeting does. Those are the 3 things that I would tell myself if I could speak to myself face to face 30 years ago before I started a family. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.